Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens, and this is Carly Stevens Books for all things writing, publishing, and indie author life. And today I wanted to share with you my signed book collection. As I was preparing for this video, I was actually surprised at how many signed books I have. Now, I've met some of these authors. It's maybe a little less than half. The rest I've gotten from subscription boxes, or I've found in bookstores or things like that. So yeah, for those of you who really like a signed book, I want to just at the top of this video let you know that on my website, carly-stevens.com, I'll have the link down below, you can actually get all of my books signed and sent to you in time for the holidays. So that is the Tanyuin Academy series as well as Laertes. Now the white Barnes & Noble exclusive edition is not included in there, but the normal black version of it is. So if you like dark academia, if you like YA fantasy, you can get a signed book through my website. So check that out. All right, here are my signed books, and there are quite a few, so buckle up. Here we go. First one is Mirage by Somaya Daud. I got this one through an Owl Crate subscription. I liked this book all right. It's a tiny little golden signature there. I like the original cover more than the redone cover, but anyhow. All right, next one is Pride by E.B. Zoboy. I like this one a little more, I would say. It's a Pride and Prejudice remix is the way they put it. It has really beautiful end papers. So yes, this one is signed as well. Okay, next up I have Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. This is another Owl Crate. A lot of my signed books are through them. I have not yet read Shadow of the Fox. It's been on my TBR for quite a long time now, but I hear good things. It's just not been top of mind for a long time. But Julie Kagawa, it keeps getting recommended to me. If not this book, then some of her other stuff. So yeah, check it out if you like I don't know, fantasy, kind of alternate YA fantasy, I guess. Okay, going to something that is not Owl Crate, Romancing the Rogue by Lana Williams. I did a book event with her last year, and she was lovely, and so I asked her about her collection of books, and this one sounded the most interesting. So this one is on my TBR, but this is signed by her. I got one of her books at that event. Okay, next I have two with kind of two different stories, but you'll see why I'm putting them together here. I'm running out of space on my desk thing that you can't see here because I have so many of these. So I have two books signed by Craig Johnson, who wrote the Longmire series. I have The Cold Dish, and I have Dry Bones. Now these, one of these I got in the area of Wyoming that Craig is from and was the inspiration for Absaroka County in the series. And then another one I got signed when I went to go see him. He spoke at an event at my local library, and I was really excited. He was a great speaker, and I met him afterwards and got him to sign that second book of his that I got. Okay, the next two are from the same place. So I found two signed books at Topping & Company, which is it was my favorite bookstore in Scotland. I went to about 4, I think, bookstores in and around Edinburgh, and my favorite place was Topping & Company. Topping & Co. was amazing. It was beautiful on the outside, incredible on the inside. The number of signed books was mind-blowing, and it didn't cost any more if the book was signed. So anyway, the next two are from there. So I have In Memoriam by Alice Wynne, which is evidently a tragic love story set in World War I. I hear it is absolutely tremendous. It's winning awards. So yes, I'm looking forward to reading this one. I have not read it yet, but it's a really nice copy. The second one I found at Topping & Co. is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, or V.E. Schwab. I know she has different variations on her name depending on the style of book that she's writing, because she writes in a variety of genres, which I always love to hear because I write in a variety of genres. She wrote the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, but she also writes middle grade horror like City of Ghosts, and so she's kind of all over the place. But this one I'm looking forward to reading, and it has a lovely stenciled edges here. I don't have that many books with stenciled edges, so I was really excited to see that this one was not only signed by Victoria Schwab, but also had those stenciled edges on there. So yeah, very cool. Okay, the next few are signed by people that I have met in real life. So my most recent purchase is Unmasked, My Life Solving America's Cold Cases by Paul Holes. He was one of the detectives instrumental in bringing down the Golden State Killer. So I recently went to an event at my local Barnes Noble and heard him speak and met him. So yeah, I got that one signed. I'm looking forward to reading this one. I'm very much into true crime, even though that is not something that I read a lot of. I listen to a lot of podcasts, including one of his, so it was cool to see him in real life. Okay, next up I have A Night to Remember by Bowen Gillings. So if you have been around the channel for a while, one of my earlier interviews was with Bowen, who talks all about writing a good fight scene, and there was actually a scene from A Night to Remember that he used when I first heard him speak on the topic, kind of comparing a more intense Jason Bourne style fight scene with something that was intended to be more humorous. Like, the person does not know what a professional fight looks like, so they're just using what's at hand. So yeah, Night to Remember. Okay, next one is Amity Green's The Witcher Chime. I am not a horror reader typically. I like some middle grade horror like Lockwood and Company, City of Ghosts, which I mentioned, by Victoria Schwab. But I wanted to just see what it was like to read a kind of big kid horror book. So this one is on my TBR. I'm looking forward to reading it. Look at that creepy cover. That is a cool, horrifying cover. But anyway, so I know, or I met the author a couple of times, and she signed that for me. It's kind of funny. She also writes in a couple of different genres. She wrote The Witcher Chime, which is straight up horror, but she also has a delightful series of children's books, like elementary school. They're illustrated. They're about this bunny named Lola under a different name. But it's super cute. So I can appreciate that disparity, I guess. Yeah, so Amity Green. Okay, this one I did not get signed when I met the authors, but anyway. So Horses of Fire by A.D. Rhine is a reimagining of the Battle of Troy, which is talked about in the Iliad by Homer, but from the perspective of 3 different women who are behind the walls of Troy. And I got to speak to these 2 writers as well as Ashley and Danielle in an earlier interview on this channel too, and we just absolutely hit it off. I've rarely in my life had such immediate friend chemistry with people. So later on we had the opportunity to meet in person, and it was just a blast. We went out and about, and I hope that I have the opportunity to spend some time with those 2 ladies in the future, because we all just had a ball. We have so many things in common in the way that we like to write. Their method of writing Horses of Fire just rang true for me as I was preparing for Laertes, and as you know, as I'm preparing for my next historical retelling, which is going to be Carton. No release date on that yet, but I am getting more and more excited as I put together all these kind of puzzle pieces and do more research. They're research heavy as well. Okay, Next up, this is again somebody that I have met, somebody that I know, but that's not when I got the book signed. So this is Inyo's Ring by N.H. Schwabacher, who I've also talked to on the channel. This is a historical adventure kind of reimagining of legends as well. So if you're interested in hands-on historical research, then look at the interview that I did with Nikki. She's inspirational to me. I want to be more like her, you know, when I grow up. But yeah, so she signed this for me. This is one of the only books that's out there that has my name in the acknowledgements. So it's one of those small things that just makes me really happy. It's not even a humble brag, it's just a brag. So check out Inyo's Ring. I think it's gonna be really good. It's on my TBR, which, as we all know, is just, you know, everybody's to read list just gets longer and longer, which is good and bad, right? I mean, bad in that there's just no way you're gonna get through it all. Good in that there's just no way you can get through it all. There's so many great books out there. Don't waste your time with ones that aren't, you know, really ringing true for you. Okay, we're continuing on. These two, Blue Mermaid Memories and Blue Reflections, which just recently came out. This is Amanda Casey's debut novel. This Blue Mermaid Memories is more of a prequel book, so I have all kinds of swag from these books. But yes, so Amanda Casey has also been on the channel talking about nature-based magic systems because she's very interested in ecology and just has this love of both legends and the earth in this profound way. So I've known her for years. She's also a very talented artist who did illustrations for these books as well. So definitely check her out. This is the second book that I'm named in the acknowledgements, and I feel so privileged. I've read parts of both of these because of the writers group chapters that we send every week, but I haven't just sat down and read her novel front to back. So I know I think right now she's looking for beta readers for the second book in this series, Tidal Ancestry, so definitely check her out on Instagram, TikTok, all of that. So big shout out to Amanda Casey. Okay, next three, I'm gonna give all at once and you'll see why. All of these three books are signed by Becca Syme, who is the Clifton Strengths writing coach powerhouse that you've probably heard on podcasts, you've maybe seen on interviews, but she spoke at a writing conference that I went to about 1.5 years ago. So I met her and she signed Dear Writer, You Need to Quit, Dear Writer, Are You Intuitive, and Dear Writer, Are You in Burnout? She was just giving away these books and signing them, so very generous. That was when I heard of her for the first time. Now I have a better idea of how important she is to the writing community, and so I wish I'd known that at the time, so I could officially appreciate meeting her more than I did at the time when I was still kind of figuring out who she was and what she was about, because that Clifton Strengths connection to how you work as a writer has been a really helpful way of thinking about my own writing. And I haven't figured it all out, of course. I'm a work in progress, but yeah, so 3 Becca Syme in-person signings. Oh, you thought I was done? No, not yet. Like I said, I am really surprised by how many signed books I have once I started digging through my shelves and everything. Okay, next up I have A Forgery of Roses by Jessica Olsen. I really like this cover and the red pages and everything, but I haven't read this one yet. It seems kind of dark academia adjacent, at least, and so I'm looking forward to reading it, but again, TBR. All right, next up I have We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Hafsa Faisal, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I know this one has gotten some incredible press. It's gotten onto all kinds of, you know, best of lists. I got this in my Owl Crate box as this book was coming out, so it came with some We Hunt the Flame swag. Once again, TBR. I feel not, I guess I shouldn't feel bad. I just have tons of books that I am reading all the time. So this is a YA fantasy with a non-European based world. So I hear it's just fabulous, this series. All right, next up I have Hotel Magnifique by Emily Taylor. I love the cover. It was fun. It was kind of Caraval, Stephanie Garber feeling to me, you know, a bit random, which I didn't love, but the pieces of this magical hotel, I did like being there while I was there. So I had kind of mixed feelings about it as a story, but as a place, I thought it was really fun. So yes, that one is signed. That one's an Owl Crate as well. How many Owl Crate boxes have I gotten? More than I had realized, I guess. I don't get them every month because I just don't have the budget for that. But if there is a theme that sounds interesting, then I'll, you know, at least in the past, I would get that box. I've stopped doing that more so now that I'm only teaching part-time and my budget is nothing. But I have all of these books that I get in person still because I'm bad that way. Okay, we're taking a very sharp left to this next one. The Pigeon Will Ride the Roller Coaster by Mo Willems. I love Mo Willems stuff. I don't have a kid myself, but I just get such a kick out of Elephant and Piggy and the pigeon and the feelings that the pigeon goes through. So this is a signed edition. I got this for Christmas last year. Just appreciate that that's the case. So we have that signed as well. If you haven't checked this out, then go to the kids section of your local library or your bookstore and read just sit down and take 5 minutes and read one of these. So funny, so funny. A complete delight, no notes. Okay, we're coming into the home stretch now. There are only 2 left. I'm gonna just present them both at once because they're the same author. And they're both special editions because I love these 2 books so profoundly. All right, ready? I don't know that you are. So there's the Raven Boys. I have an entire video unpacking this special edition box of the Raven Boys with a bunch of Raven Boys swag, some of which is displayed in my house right now. But I mean, it's just so pretty. Look at the end papers on this thing, to die for. I just can't get over it. But this is signed by Maggie Stiefvater, who I greatly respect as an author. Her books have been hit or miss for me. I've tried a few others, like All the Crooked Saints, couldn't get into it. Shiver, couldn't get into it. But this and this, so good. I'm realizing that the unboxing videos of all my Owl Crate stuff is on my previous channel. It's on English Nerd, which is it was my only channel for a long time, but then I branched off with this one to focus on just writing, publishing, and indie author life stuff. That one's more academic now, but if you do a search for the Scorpio races or the Raven Boys, you'll find all those unboxing videos. So the Scorpio races, I don't love this cover as much as the special edition Raven Boys cover, but the Scorpio races, I got the special edition 10th anniversary box for that as well because it's a standalone and it blew my mind. The audiobook, which I listened to, was one of the best I've ever listened to, and I listen to audio quite a bit. So that one's signed as well. And we finally reached the end of the list. So again, a reminder that if you want a signed copy of the Tanyuin Academy series books, so that's Fury and Rising, Into the Unreal, or Kingdoms on Fire, or Laertes sent to your house for the holidays, then just go to my website, carly-stevens.com, and you can get a copy of one of those beautiful books sent directly to you. Whew. Yeah, I regret nothing. I have a lot of signed books, but I can't be the only one who has a book collection that's just really delightful. So yeah, that is it. Like this video if you like it. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification button for all Carly Stevens books videos to get announcements about that. Most of the videos are interviews with these fascinating people, so yeah, definitely sign up for that. All right, until next time, bye.